Okay. Hello, world. Um, I want to start off by saying you guys can call me Fritz. Um, Obviously, that's not my real name. My best friend has called me that since we were grown up. We've grown up together since we were in first grade. She's like my sister. Um, I started this channel not knowing how to. I had to enlist my 16-year-old daughter to show me how to set up a YouTube channel because of what's going on right now. I've been following the news and politics. Always have. I grew up that way. My grandfather, especially, um, before he passed, was you always follow what's going on with your government because otherwise you're just you stay oblivious and blind. So I am definitely not a Trump supporter. Hence the no Trump Fritz. um, it's the whole reason behind starting this because I've been getting so angry since Trump's campaign. I still can't believe that he was put in there by the Electoral College. I just can't get over it. Uh, my husband thinks I'm become a little obsessed with what's going on, and I've never been this hard into politics per se. Always talked about it, debate. My best friend and I have always debated about, points of view and perspective and things like that. But this has to be the worst in my lifetime that I have ever seen. And there's been a few bad ones that I definitely was not for. Um, Bill Clinton was one of them, and we've heard his name smeared all over the place by Trump and his supporters, who I don't even think they really understand what they're really supporting beyond the hateful, angry emotion that he seems to bring out in his freaking rallies. I have never in my life seen anything like what's going on right now or heard supporters, whether it's somebody that I'm in favor of or not in favor of, even past presidents, even the ones I wasn't in favor of, it's always taught to be logical, whether or not you agree with something. Um, you can see the good in things like, for example, Obama seems to get smeared, and I was not a fan of Obama. I wasn't, and it didn't have anything to do with race. I just felt that he wasn't outspoken enough, I guess you could say, and kind of like Bernie Sanders. I liked a lot of Bernie Sanders' positions when he was running, when Donald and Hillary were running. However, I didn't think he would make a good president simply because he was too old school kind. And I'm trying not to be mean or put the man down. But I watched the debates, especially with Hillary. When he was debating with Hillary was the worst. Um, he would not talk over her like she would talk over him. He would wait. I'm assuming out of respect. I don't think he necessarily has the spine for that type of position, and it is a dog eat dog type of position when you're campaigning for president. Um, so not to shoot way off subject, but I've seen Obama get smeared for a lot of things. And again, I wasn't one of Obama's fans. I wasn't. Um, So I didn't necessarily agree with a lot of his policies, but once he was in office, his healthcare plan blows my mind. Him getting bashed for that. Because once that man was in office, uh, and as I was following his presidency, he tried. He tried. And every turn he made, by whether it was right wing or left wing, his hands got tied. No matter what that man did, it did not matter. His healthcare plan blew my mind. It took so long for anybody to even pass it because they couldn't agree, left or right wing. So to hear Trump talk about Obama's messed up healthcare plan, that was not that man's fault. That was the House's fault and Congress's fault. Every time that man turned around, they hacked his policy to pieces and put their own agendas into it. And people seem to forget that. So what we ended up with was the messed up healthcare plan that was put in place. Um, at least it was something. It was still better than what we had, despite how messed up it was and all the hidden crap that was put in there that wasn't told publicly to the media. You had to actually search to find these things, to find what was hidden in there. And I think that's a common misconception of a lot of people. They think that when a policy is put into place, it's just about that one topic, like this wall that we keep hearing so much about. It is not just that wall that is put into that policy. Bank on it. There are other things in there that you don't have a clue about. To me, the more they talk about one specific subject, the less you should believe it. Like Trump's health, for existence, or for example, all I heard on the news before his previous doctor come out when he was put into office was how excellent his health was and how fantastic his health is and just these fantastical statements. And the more they repeat themselves over and over and over again, like they're trying to drill it into your head, there's probably no truth to it. Uh, there's something they're hiding, and the truth always has a way of coming out. Like his doctor saying that, Trump basically wrote his own clean bill of health. So, same applied to Clinton. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Well, guess what? He did. But here's the thing, that was not near as bad. A president is supposed to lead by example. Um, so that wasn't good either, you know. But he lied out the ass too until he couldn't lie anymore because the truth always comes out, but sometimes it comes out too late. So that's why it is important for people like me, which I'm seeing more and more of you, are standing up and saying, I call BS. This shit ain't right. It's not right. Something is wrong. He's lying. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that the man is lying. He's not even good at it. He's not even good at it, people. And nobody around him that he has appointed is good at it. They're not even trying. They're not even trying to lie to you. They're not trying. That's what amazes me. The man is off kilter. He's off his rocker. He's not mentally stable. I said a long time ago I told my husband, see, Trump loves the uneducated poor, and I'm not wealthy. We're working class, and obviously you can see this. This is my garage. Um, I work on vehicles. My husband and I have been married for 21 years. This past January, married to him since I was 17. He was 18. I'll be 39 this year. I'm pushing 40. Um, I am not a girly girl. I am not a barefoot pregnant in the kitchen. Um, we have come a long way, and women have had to fight for the right to vote, for the right to do anything, and I still fight. I still fight uh, because men around me don't like the fact that I can pull a transmission and tear it apart and rebuild it. Um, my daddy taught me that. That was my father. That's the way I was raised. I was told you don't let anybody tell you that you can't do something just because you're a female. And the same applies to, it doesn't matter what color you are, what your gender is, what your sexual preference is. I don't care. I say live and let live. Um, as long as they're not trying to hurt me and my family, we are who we are. I am who I am. This is who I am. I work on vehicles. I was a landscaper. Yeah, I'm working on learning how to weld right now, build things. My dad was a contractor, so I take from that. That's where I learned what I know. And what I don't know, I look up and learn. I went to college for 4 to 5 years. I majored in psychology. Um, Back home where I'm from, I'm originally from Florida. I live in North Carolina right now, which is really different. I don't know if you guys remember the Twilight Zone. It is really like being on a different planet, because it's even harder for somebody like me up here because these gender roles are just ridiculous. These race stigmas are ridiculous. It's crazy what is going on right now. Um, and if it doesn't stop, we're headed in a really horrible direction. And I think we're at one of those pivotal moments like we've been at throughout history. Everything comes to a head, and then there's a pivot and a shift, whether it's going from a Republican government, democracy, capitalism, socialism, liberal. There's always been a pivot throughout history. And I think that's where we're at right now. But I think this is going to be one of the most crucial pivots in our history. I think it is literally going to be the difference between humanity's survival, honestly. I really do. I believe that wholeheartedly at this point, and I've never ever been this hardcore political. I've always been able to talk about it, debate, and people seem to forget what the term debate means. It does not mean argue. It means to, um, debate and exchange views on a friendly level. Um, but we are in a very, nowadays, we're in a very angry society, very emotional, very, very emotional. And it's the bad kind of emotional people. Anger is the worst of all of our emotions, and we can't avoid emotion hinging in a small part on which direction we lead in our lives. We can't. We're human. To err is human. Um, but anger is one of the worst emotions that we have. And right now, um, that is what's driving this presidency. They're they're inciting anger and hate, and they are intentionally keeping people divided for a reason. They are creating more racial divides, gender divides. It is intentional, people, intentional. It is a diversion tactic. Look at this while I'm over here doing this, because I don't want you to see what I'm doing over here. So look at this. And it's important that more people like me and the people I've been seeing create videos like this. That's one of the reasons why I did, because it is important that we stand up and say, this is not okay. This is not okay. We are all human. We're all human. Humanity is important. If we don't care about one another's existence, if all we see is gender, race, the way you dress, the way you look, the way you talk, we're doomed. We are doomed. Doomed. We are supposed to take care of one another. We are supposed to work together. We're missing the big picture. We live on a planet that we are currently destroying. And we have a government right now that is hell-bent on keeping us divided, whether it's the US divided from other countries, or it's white divided from black, or male divided from female, or gay divided from straight, bi, whatever you may be. It is intentional. Intentional. Because if you're divided, you're not able to come together and rise up to stop the wrong that's going on. You know, when I was growing up, my grandfather had this thing he would always say, he would say, ignorance can be helped if they choose to. Ignorance can be fixed, but you can't fix stupid. You cannot fix stupid. Okay? So I don't know if it's just ignorance anymore, is what I'm saying, because you don't choose to be ignorant, but you can choose to fix ignorance. But stupid is ignorance that you chose not to correct, and that's on you individually. So each one of you voters that are saying, no matter what this president does, you scream fake news. You won't believe facts put right in front of your face. You don't believe anything except for this man. And I cannot understand that. That is where you cross that line from ignorant to stupid, in my opinion, because you choose to be there, especially when I'm watching women tell reporters on the street when they're asking them. And they're saying that being a president is a man's job. And they're older than my parents are. Are you serious? That is one major backslide, people. I've even seen a woman say, "Is you seen this thing floating around?" And I didn't know what it meant. I had to look it up. Um, Saying repeal #19. I seen it everywhere and couldn't figure it out. It's about the 19th Amendment and the repeal of women's right to vote. And now they spoke very little about it. And they say, oh, half were mocking it. The other half seemed serious. And some of them were. I watched one woman state at a Trump rally that she would be 100% willing to give up her right to vote to keep Trump in office. Are you kidding me? Kidding me? That is ludicrous. That is just insanity defined 100%. And this woman is older than my parents. That's crazy. What does that mean for us? I can't believe how many of these people there were out there. I can't believe it. I mean, come on, guys. You know, I'm going to tell you what, for you supporters or people that still want to put Trump back in office, you need to stop and really think, because I'm going to tell you what, he's telling you that our nation is perfect and every other nation is messed up. You have got to be kidding. I mean, as if America has never done anything bad. Do you know history? I mean, really? Really? I mean, I heard one man say that he blames 9/11 on Obama. And when asked, why would you blame 9/11 on Obama? Well, because he wasn't in the Oval Office that day. Are you serious? Could it be because he wasn't president at the time? I mean, come on. Holy cow. I'll tell you what. I mean, 9/11 was a horrible thing. It was a very horrible thing. But I'm going to tell you what. I also understand the Middle East's anger. Osama, does anybody even remember or know why that man was so angry? Do your search on the Cold War, man. I mean, we helped them out and then promised to help them the Cold War, and we left that man hanging for his people to get slaughtered. Their blood was on our hands. I mean, so don't get me wrong, what happened was awful, but you have to be logical. I mean, you need to understand your history, and half of these people have no clue. I have seen interviews with people who can't tell you what the Civil War was about or where it was for that matter. This is just insane. All right, I'm not gonna sit here and ramble on. I know this video comes off like kind of a rant, and it is a little bit. It is a little bit, because it's the first YouTube video I have ever made. And there will be more to come, and I'll have a better background, hopefully. But maybe not. I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens. um, Come on, people. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. For you religious people, I mean, I'm not very religious again. But I do know that I don't know if there's a God. I don't know. I don't know if there is. Nobody really does because, the Bible has been rewritten so many times, you just really don't know. It's like a bad game of telephone. Anything really is. Um, but if there is a God, I know that my soul is okay because I care about the next person, despite their gender or their sexual preference or their race. And that's what's important. You help those that you can because you can, not because that you feel it's an obligation. We do it because it's what's right. And that is important. Right now, our society is running on the worst of emotions, and it's awful. It's awful. And you've got corruption, you've got flat out lies to people's face. And they're saying, I believe it anyway. I mean, come on, people. Seriously, come on. If it keeps going this way, we're all screwed. It's not going to matter what your skin color is. We're all going to be some type of slave. Anybody that doesn't have money, which is a whole different subject, because money isn't money. They're just fucking IOUs. But the more paper you got in your damn wallet, the more important you are. And we've lost our way on what really matters. And hating each other is not the way we should be going. Okay? I understand that we need an infrastructure. We need, moderation in things. That's important, it is. But this is not the way. This is not going to fix anything. This is going to make it way worse. And for those of you that still think that it's not going to get worse, this is just the calm before that storm. So again, Fritz, first video, if you like it, and you think that I've stated what's really accurate and important, then please subscribe because we need more people to stand up and say that this crap is not okay and we're not going to let you do it because we're the ones that put the government there in the first place. It's for the people, by the people. It was supposed to be there to protect our best interest. Wasn't always that way, but the things that have come along, like, unfortunately, the Civil War, I'm not for war, I'm really not, but it happens, crap happens. People gain their freedom. Black people gain their freedom. Women fought for the right to vote. Jewish people gain their rights, but look what they had to go through. Look what these people had to go through. And this, I've heard a lot of people say that, Trump is another Hitler. No, people, no. I think he's going to be worse. I think it is going to be worse. If you can imagine that. If you can imagine it worse than Hitler. I hear authoritarianism and I say totalitarianism. Um, it's going to be worse, I think. And that's a scary thought because what gets worse than that? Hmm? This? Because that's where we're going. So we need more reasonable, logical people to stand up and say, this is not okay. This is not okay. It's not okay. Stand up. Say no. I'm not going to let you do this. Hey, subscribe to No Trump Fritz. Thanks, guys.